Okay, let's get into today's video of TDD. Uh, if you have criticism of my apparel, I just wear what's comfortable. So that's what I'm wearing, why I'm wearing what I'm wearing. But I'm going to talk about what I'm thinking about here. I've been thinking about letting go, letting go of unreasonable fears of the past, just to live in the present moment. I did do this yesterday with a vehicle. I talked about interdiction a little bit, and that vehicle has been subject to interdiction, and it has become more of a burden to have that vehicle in my life than to literally take what I wanted out of it and leave it as is on the street. So that's what I did. I took what I wanted out of the car. I hopped on my skateboard and left it right there. And knowing fully aware of the consequences that would likely follow leaving a car next to a parking meter, getting a parking ticket, getting it towed, and never seeing it again with whatever other contents were in the vehicle. I was completely fine with that. It actually was liberating to do that because I don't want to drive around in a car that has modifications made to an onboard computer system. That is something I'm not willing to deal with, so I let it go. Now, other stuff that I've been thinking about is cyber trapping, cyber trap houses in particular. But I wrote a little bit this morning. Let's consider expanding the concept of CTHs from a household to a city. The first thing you should notice are the problems. This is kind of scary to think about. So imagine roads full of drivers being influenced by sensory-driven input, texting on cell phones while trying to beat a clock. This is undeniably dangerous, and I would say it's negligent and stupid. But we're already in the midst of this type of thing. It's already happening. So if we remember what a CTH is, cyber trap house, you're cyber trapping. Within this framework, right? Devices are going to be hacked, modified, and social engineering is going to become the greatest game in town. Is this something you would actually want? I don't think so. I doubt it. If social engineering becomes the greatest game in town in a blatant manner, the lines between fiction and reality, truth versus falsehood, will become blurred. This is frightening. I don't think anybody should want this, but there are some areas that this is already happening, and I've had to deal with it. So once these lines become blurred, returning to a socially agreed upon standard of normality becomes incredibly difficult, almost impossible. It's like it would take a heroic effort to get back there. But there's already parts of the country that are going to have to do this. They're going to have to proceed in a manner where they do fact checking of the fact checkers. You'll have to reestablish who and what are reliable sources of information. All kinds of crazy stuff. It's going to be really crazy. And some of us are going to have to deal with this. Now, let's see, what else did I want to talk about? Yeah, so letting go. I mean, that may seem extreme just to leave a vehicle like that, but for me, it was liberating because I don't have the time or the resources right now to plug into that thing and reprogram it. And the time and money spent running around after that car would have been ridiculous to me to continue on that way. So I just let it go. Now, if one of my roommates wants to pay to get it out and throw me a few $100s to take the vehicle off my hands, then I would do something like that. But other than that, I don't care what happens to it. Whatever's inside of it, if I never see it again, that's completely fine with me. I'm willing to let that go. I don't have a cell phone on right now for similar reasons. If it's becoming more of a burden than something that's helpful, that's how I'm going to proceed with all the technology that I keep in my life. Now you'll notice the only thing that I use this computer for is making these videos. I'm not doing anything else on here. This is a one-stop shop on this machine. I'm only using it to make these videos because it's comfortably set up for that, and then I don't have to worry about anything else. That's why I separate my devices in a certain manner, because it makes my life easier. So cyber trapping versus smart homes. Smart homes should become preferred, and smart cities should absolutely become preferred over cyber trap cities. This seems pretty obvious, unless you want to deal with people who are hacking traffic lights, onboard technology within vehicles, and all kinds of other crazy stuff. If you want to live in a cyber trap city, more power to you. I wouldn't want to do that. I think it's crazy. I would prefer, this is where you want the smart home instance. You want the smart city. You want that mathematical precision. You want that programming in a static way where it just does what it does and it works, as opposed to being reactionary to all these different sensory inputs that are vulnerable from almost every angle. So that's what I want you to think about today. I'm going to leave it at that. Chew on that, kids. I'm out of here.